All right. I'm muting.
Bye. Hey, Heidi,
Hello,
back from New York.
back from New York.
Love it. Love
Yep.
it. All right. Just letting some people in. I'll keep doing that for about another minute and then we will officially get this thing started. Heidi, while we're waiting,
Yes,
I heard in the news today that one of the Army football players saved somebody's life from a
absolutely.
fire. Is that
Yes,
right?
it's very true.
Do you want to share the details, what you know?
All I know, I actually Jake and I have not talked about it, so I know just probably as much as you know that they went to the burning car and got the individual out of the car.
Wow. How awesome.
Yeah, that was after he played a football game.
And so what was the result of the game for everybody? Going
Uh,
back for a minute?
yeah, the team did lose in overtime, but it was a great opportunity to suit up and show up, so it was fantastic.
So real quick, your son's name, who he plays for, what school he goes to.
Jake Rendina, and he plays for West Point. So that's our military academy here in the United States. And he is a Black Knight. He's number 33. He is the running back fullback. He is America's fullback. He's gotten over 1 million hits in the last couple weeks because he salutes when he goes on and off the field.
Wow. What a
Yeah,
proud mom moment, right?
absolutely. I'm grateful.
I love that. And just so Heidi's in our school group. She's on
Mhm.
all these calls. Heidi is a physical fitness trainer on top of being a real estate agent now and a number of other things. I know you're an investor too, but tell us just briefly again, kind of while we're warming up here,
Yeah,
how you trained your son from an athletic standpoint, because I know you put a lot of effort into training him to become the elite athlete that he is, and that is what he is.
absolutely. So Jake had a couple things in his court is that he's reasonable. He knew what he wanted, and so we met him where he was at. So when he was a freshman in high school, Grady Bennett, that runs Glacier Wolfpack, pulled him up as a freshman to play varsity football. At that time, he was 168 pounds. But my husband and I held hands in that game and said, God, do not let him in. And he did get to play a little bit, and he made it through. But he needed to put some weight on to play at that level. So I asked him, I go, you want to do this? And he goes, yeah. So we locked in. We did an in-body 570 scan, which is this guy right here. Tells you exactly what you're made of. We locked in his macros. He needed to eat 5,000 calories a day with what the protein, carbs, and fat needed to be. He did that, and in a year, he put on 40 pounds of muscle. So he did the workouts, he did the macros. He went on to win number one in the world twice over in powerlifting at age 17 and 18, broke the records in the state of Montana, and now he's at West Point.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is second year, right?
He is now a junior, which is called a cow. He's a cow at West Point.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Thank you
yeah,
for sharing that.
absolutely. Thank you.
I know that you're a proud mom, but
Yeah.
it's a testament to your own abilities as a trainer
Mhm.
and who you are. So these are
Yeah.
the kind of people that show up on this call, and I'm thrilled to have you here. And just congrats to your son for everything that he is. So well done, Heidi.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
Yep. All right, go Army.
Garmy.
Um, okay, just a little housekeeping. Everybody's on mute. We're going to be calling on a couple of people today. Remember, use the chat feature at the bottom. Okay. If you need to connect with people, that's where this happens at. If you have a need or a want, put it in there. Take your time, put it in there. We are here to build community, support one another. If you have something, a give back offer, put that in there as well. So if you're offering people other things, we are using the chat feature. So there you go. We do have a school community, and school is SKOOL. That is a platform that Alex Hermosi developed, and it's a place for us. If you need a little bit more than this call, please feel free to join us. We'd love to have you over there. Maybe Rachel Savoda can put the link in the chat here if you want to join school. Love to have you there as well. Again, it's if you want a little bit more than this call. There's an admin fee. It's $10 a month. But there's a lot of activity going on there. And I know, speaking of Heidi, she loaded up 12 workouts under the fitness section. So Speaking of these calls, the flyer says build your community. And it was interesting. I was going back and forth with a neighbor yesterday for quite some time about this community. And he couldn't understand the value that he would receive from being on these calls. He's in a very niche business. He manufactures uh, high-end materials for rifles. And I said, well, look, man, it's not always just about business. Sometimes you may have a want, or sometimes you might just be here to give back. I said, I know that, you're a man, you're dating, so you're single, you want to have a family, you have a dog, you live in a community, you have a home. I said, there's so many people in the community itself that could bring value to you. I think sometimes, I guess this is the point I want to make about it, is sometimes we get too short-sighted for what's right in front of us because we're hyper focused on, I got to make money, got to make money. You forget about all the most important things. And that's the value that we bring to one another as a community. And I find it's kind of unfortunate. He's not going to see the value of being here today or any other day because he got tunnel vision on one thing. Before this call, I was on another call with my partner in real estate. He goes by Red Suit Realtor, and he was talking about abundance. And it was a nice reminder that we should all be living a life of abundance instead of scarcity. I'm not sure I 100% agreed with his principle up front, but I do see the value in it. And that was, hey, if you want to go out and buy that boat, go buy the boat, take the vacation, buy that house, buy those things that make you happy because, and this was the nature of his call, was we will rise to the occasion and find a way to exist in that world that we're creating. In other words, for his world, he's a fix and flip real estate expert in this state of Utah. He said, hey, we'll go out and we'll earn the money that we need to make to pay for that car, that boat, that house, et cetera. Because a lot of times we only make up to what we think is our potential, which is our monthly bills. I thought, you know what? That's a good reminder for everybody. So if you're interested in fixing and flipping, you can find Red Suit on School, or you can find Red Suit Realtor on Instagram. Two more things, and I'm going to come to you, Rachel Savoda, is if you haven't seen, we're doing a VIP dinner up here in Montana on October 10th. We call it VIP because we're going to curate that list. It sold out last year. Beautiful dinner at Copper Kitchen here, just outside of Kalispell. They do a wonderful job. Probably the best chefs in Montana, as far as I'm concerned, based on the meals I've had here. But we're looking forward to doing that with them. If you want to be involved, please hit us up, DM. Again, maybe Rachel Savoda can put that in the notes while I'm talking. And the following day, we're going to do more of a real estate focused / grit determination speaking conference for about 3 hours in town here. So if you come up for the VIP dinner, we're going to do a free event the next day with some really neat influencers in several other industries. So with that, Rachel Savoda, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think you've got a guest today and would love to hear from you anyhow. I got you on mute too.
I think I just unmuted, so I should be good. All right. Hi, everybody. I want to introduce you to Brian. Brian, give a wave so everybody sees you. I think Brian's got a really interesting business, not just in the products that he makes, but I love the way that Brian's gone about building his business as part of our local Orange County community. I can be a testament to the fact that every time I am there volunteering at an event, Brian is there volunteering at an event too. He donates a lot of his time and he's really engaged. And I just feel like, the way he's built his business is something that we can all learn from. So I was hoping not only can he share a little bit about how he built his business, why, the backstory, but also, like Jim said earlier, like what are the three things, Jim? The
needs, wants, give back.
Give back. So anyways, Brian, I will let you have the floor.
Well, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, this is my first time. You guys can all hear me, correct?
Yeah, you're good.
I just want to make sure. I don't really do these Zoom calls very often. So all this technology and everything's kind of new to me, which is probably my biggest crutch right now is trying to advertise to everybody, to get my business well known. But basically what I do is I have a candy store in Southern California in Fullerton, and we specialize in chocolate almond toffee. which is more of like a brittle English toffee. And we do multiple different varieties of chocolate. And we also put that in ice cream products. And as Rachel said, I partner a lot with a lot of the local high schools and elementary schools that do fundraisers. And those ones have been extremely profitable and good for me as far as advertising, because we give back a good 20 to 25% at some of these places. And a lot of the people do spend more money because they know that they're getting the money back on the other end. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if you guys have any questions, I'm like I said, I'm kind of new to this. I'm pretty much on my own doing this business. I worked for 25 years at a trucking company, and I did this candy on the side while I, worked full time. And eventually I got to the point where I was able to quit my full-time job, and now I do this full time.
Okay, that's a lot of candy to be able to let go and of having as a side hustle to being it be the primary career and to have a family and do all the give back. I think for a lot of business owners who enjoy the side hustle, what was that like for you? How did you know it was the right time to make the switch? I'd love to talk more about that.
That was probably the hardest part to decipher, was when was it time to make that jump? And over the years that I've done these farmer markets, craft fairs, and other events, there's people of all ages. There's people in their 20s just getting started. There's people in their 50s and 60s that have done this for years. And it feels like when you have these small business side hustle type things, they never get past that small little step where they're doing it at these little farmer markets and craft fairs. It's almost like no one ever gets to that point where they take that first step into actually getting their brick and mortar or opening up their own business. So I knew that was a logical next step, and I was looking for a space, a shop for a while. And when it finally opened up and I had the opportunity, I just jumped at it and said, okay, well, here we go. And I just did it and never looked back.
Okay, so how do you, because you sell an edible product, right?
Yes.
It's candy, right? How does that work for any of our other entrepreneurs out there in terms of shelf life, distribution? You have retail customers, you have wholesale customers, you've got different target markets. You have everything from ice cream, I know, to the candy itself. Like, how do you decide which products you're going to be in production with, and who you're selling them with, and how that recurring revenue works?
Yeah, I just had to basically find out on my own and just try different varieties. And there are some stores that local stores that carry my jars of toffee only, and there's other places that only sell my ice cream products. And you just kind of like got to just go with the flow and see what the person that does, that owns these other businesses, what do they want from you? Are they in a market where they're only selling where the candy they think will sell better, or the ice cream, or whatever? And some people I work with where they, like this financial company that I do work with, they have a bunch of clients, and of course, they want to send a reminder on their birthday whenever their client has a birthday. So every month they send me a list of all their their employees, or their customers' birthdays, and then I send a jar of toffee on their behalf. And so that way they get like a happy birthday gift, really. And so there's companies that I deal with that where actually they don't sell anything or do anything with my product. I handle basically that type of thing for them. So you just kind of gotta go with the flow, I guess, and just see what people want to offer and see what they're doing, and kind of like, I guess, mold my business or what I'm doing to fit whatever they're doing. And so I also do weddings and other type of thing where maybe I will make the candy into little bags, and every place setting will have the candy. So I guess you just got to be flexible and just go where the money is, really, and just kind of, I guess be flexible is the biggest thing that I can think of.
So with that in mind, I have two questions. One is, when should people start putting in their bulk holiday orders for their clients? Is September is now the time to start thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime really is good. I always say earlier the better. That way I can get them down, get them on paper, and get their order in, and that way they're locked in. Obviously, there's people that put in orders through, mid-December, and I try to accommodate them as best I can. But I have to, obviously I have to take the people who put their orders in first and, go on down the line there. But I've been pretty good about not saying no. That's my biggest thing. I think that's probably the kiss of death as a small business, is turning away business and saying no. Obviously you have to do what's financially good for you and what's beneficial for you as well. But I figure it's hard for me to get business as it is. For me to tell somebody no when they want to do business with me is probably the worst thing I can say. So I always try and say yes if I can.
I love that. And I think that's probably why we're always at the charity events together, because we
Yes.
have to say yes. And then my second question is, so wait, it was for gifting. And oh, I went to an event recently and it was a bunch of like wedding and event people all networking together. They did an event in an airplane hangar. And it was people who did candles, people who did engraving, people who did cookie bars, and musicians. And they were all kind of there showcasing their what they could bring to an event, right? Like somebody was there with speakers, so they had great sound system, right? Do you ever do events like that, like to collaborate with other complementary vendors?
Yeah, I've done bridal expos is probably more or less maybe what you're talking about. And I've done those where everybody comes from, has it something to add for whatever specific type of venue that they're looking for. So I've done events at venues where they have the people that are having parties, mainly weddings, and they kind of pick and choose which vendors they want to go with. I've done those in the past, but I would say the biggest thing that I've gotten that's helped me the most is the third party referrals, which is a referral from somebody else, right? So I can go and tell people how good my product is and they can taste it and they can look at me and all that stuff. But when a family member or a friend of somebody else tells them, hey, you got to try this, you got to, you got to do this, you got to eat this, you got to have this person, those type of referrals, because those people that are looking for something, they're going to trust their friend or their family member 100%. So to me, that's like the word of mouth, the third party referral. That's what I try to get. So I always try and tell people, hey, spread the word, please do what you can, post on social media, tag me, let me know if there's anything I can do, because I can tailor make my products, to fit whatever they need.
So with that in mind, do you collect a lot of like Google reviews and testimonials as part of your efforts?
Yeah, I try to. I'm not as good as I should be. This is where I'm lacking, is on the social media and the technical aspect. I should be doing more on Google and Yelp and those type of sites, but I kind of lose. I get frustrated and I kind of lose track of what I'm supposed to be doing with that. So I kind of put that on the back burner and do other things. And I know that's got to be a priority. And I know that's really big right now, is the whole social media and technical part. So I am working with some people that are helping me out with that. So that is probably my biggest thing. So I like to try and do these type of things where I get to meet new people and kind of get a little bit of pointers on how to move forward with this stuff.
Yeah, I think this group, we talk about that a lot. Everybody's got something that they need to focus in on. As we continue on with this conversation today, if there is a link that you would want people to check out, I put your general website link in the chat, but if there is like a promo or anything special going on, this community loves to support each other. So, don't hesitate to share anything that you would like in the chat, or after. I can even send, or you can join us on School and post it there. So,
well, thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Brian, thanks for sharing your story. I love from truck driver to candy store, finding a way to make it work. Looking at you, you're a big guy, not thinking candy store right away, but I love that you made that leap, and thanks for explaining what gave you the courage to make that leap, because so many of us are entrepreneurs. I know we have a variety of different people in here that have more than one job. And I'm going to refrain from saying side hustle in the future, because I realize we put a lot of work into all the things that we do. And so I love that at one point you decided it's good for me to step over. There's a number of real estate agents in here. There's marketers in here, a lot of people that do two different jobs. So at some point you got to pull the trigger. So good for you doing that. All right. I'm going to move around the room a little bit. I didn't give you any heads up, Billy, but I got your mute off. Billy Murray's in here. And I love Billy's work. He is a professional photographer. I met him last year. If you've been on these calls before, you've seen Kyle Turley in here, who used to play for the NFL. Billy shoots literally rock stars, and he's creating a business out of it. And Billy, if you don't, I just want to tell him what your struggle is. Okay. So Billy got a little bit of work down in LA and he's kind of doing his thing. And then he got stuck in Canada where he lives. And he's been fighting to legally come down here and conduct business. And I just love your tenacity and your willingness to push hard to get over here. So Billy, you want to give us like, a 2-minute commercial on what you're doing, how it's going, and when we can expect to see you down in America doing some full-time photography?
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me, Jim. Great to see you. Great to meet you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Quick. So I'm in Canada. I'm waiting for my work visa, and the last time I was in LA was October, and I've only done 2 shoots in between. So everything is dried up for me. Dark times right now. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but I'm working at a steel factory. I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to stay focused, and I'm just trying to achieve the main goal, and that's just to keep shooting people, transforming people, changing lives, creating badassery as much as I can, one subject at a time.
Well, I loved our text message exchange the other day. I said, when are you coming down? Are you going to try to push it? Are you going to wait and create some FOMO, fear of missing out? And you're like,
yeah.
I'm going to create the FOMO. So I love your work. I love some of the people that you've worked with. I mean, Kyle was a phenomenal photo shoot, how that all went down. But I like seeing where you're at today because I see the talent. And I know that that's going to grow into something special. And all of us here on the call today and the people on school are going to go, oh, I remember when Billy was scratching hard. So this is kind of about putting some remembrance there for you.
Well,
when do you anticipate being down? And what does a photo shoot look like for you, for those that want to have their badassery captured?
First off, really quick, I just want to thank you, Jim. You do more, those text messages do more than you would ever believe. They really are lifting me up. I am in a dark place right now. I don't mean to be all party pooper in the box right now, but it's just not a good time. I didn't even want to come onto this group chat because anxiety and what am I going to talk about? Who am I? I just all I know is I'm trying to achieve this goal. And when you send a text message, it lifts me up. It makes me positive. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So
it's community, man.
It means a lot. So I'm happy to be in this community. I really am. So yeah, question, please. Again,
So the question was, when you're doing a photo shoot, what does that look like in brief? And then we'll keep an eye out for when you land here in the US.
Well, first off, I'm not your typical photographer. I'm very stubborn. I'm very particular, because if I can't get creative, there's just no point. It has to be perfect. I need creative energy. If it's not there, it's just not going to work. So I put a lot of time and effort into it. People don't realize the moment the idea comes through an email for interest in my services, my brain is already going. It's already clicking. What do they look like? What can I do? How can I change? How can I do something different? It's nonstop. A lot of energy, tons of energy. And when I get them in front of me, I try and set them up, get my vision on the camera, and I just start snapping. It's a very interesting process. A lot of people love it. It's almost like shooting a movie. I'm looking for that scene. And when I find the scene, I hold them and try and draw as much emotion out as I can. Almost like creating a movie scene, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're an artist through and through. I'm going to highlight a couple other people while we're on the call. We got a couple minutes left. Billy, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in school. And I will keep sending those messages. You guys need to connect with Billy. When this guy's career blows up, you're going to be able to say, I remember when. Trust me, dude, I've been around a lot of artists and you got the talent. It's just going to be a matter of time. Okay. So
there's some great people waiting in LA right now for photos, and it's going to be really cool.
Perfect. I love it.
Thanks, Jim.
Right on. Earlier, just when we got started, I was letting Heidi kind of brag on her son, and I noticed that Shelley jumped on. Shelley, I don't know if you want to take your mute off and I'll give you a second to think about that. And then Taylor, I'm going to come to you before we close. Shelley's daughter, actually, Shelley, since you took your meat off, please tell everybody about the accomplishment that your daughter just achieved recently.
Yes, so she just broke a world record in the standing block chop. So she took an axe and chopped through a block in 26 seconds. So, yeah.
World record standing block chop with an axe as a female athlete. I mean, look, when you talk about bringing a community together of really special, eclectic people, that's what we got, right? And that's why I wanted to highlight that, Shelley. You're doing a phenomenal job for her. Shelley's in real estate here in Montana, and her daughter is actively looking for sponsors that want to promote her success. And let me tell you, look at her YouTube stuff. She is blowing up as an athlete. So she's looking for sponsors that are aligned with that, that discipline of logging, basically, right, Shelley?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. I couldn't let you go by without bragging about your daughter. So thanks for
Yeah,
chiming in.
thank you.
I want to go two more places before we shut down. Brian, I'm going to come to you in a minute, Brian O'Reilly. Taylor, I know you're driving, but maybe you can take your mute off. And Taylor has been a part of my coaching group for the last year. And it's not that I want her to talk about my coaching, but I wanted her to talk about briefly the power of coaching, pulling out of her what she's capable of. And she just landed a new career opportunity. And so maybe you can tell us about that for a minute, Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're great.
Okay, perfect. Hi, like Jim said, I am driving, but nice to meet you all and be here with all of you. My name is Taylor Wiggers. When I first started coaching with Jim, we were launching.
Now we lost you. Okay, Taylor, I think you're in a bad spot. Give it a minute and we'll try to come right back to you. Okay. Brian O'Reilly, can you take it off mute? Hey, buddy.
Got me?
Yep, got you.
Got
Taylor,
all
we'll
those
come back
months.
to you if you find a better spot in a minute. So Brian, what did you say? You're addicted to real estate?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the thing about that is there's a lot of facets to real estate, not just buying and selling. Brian's an appraiser and he's built quite a reputation in his industry. Brian, you moved from a different state into Montana. You found success here. That takes a lot of courage to do that. What were some of the factors that you considered when you moved and immediately jumped into a business, and I would say successfully now?
Honestly, I didn't really put too much thought in it. The timing was right, and sometimes you do what's more important for your family than for your business. So I really came up here with no plan. I moved from a market where there was 6-7 million people in an hour each direction to an area where there's 100,000 people in 2 hours each way. So really had to redefine myself, redefine my business. Everything that I was doing in my other market never worked up here. So it was really nice starting over, invigorating. It was literally starting over. So
yeah. And that's the point I wanted to hear from you today, because a lot of us are starting over or we're moving to different areas. I know Heidi moved last year. Billy's talking about getting down to LA to do some work. Moves don't have to cripple you in your business. And I think, within a community, it's great to lean into one another. And how do you make a move and find success? Just like what Brian talked about, you move from one career to the next, owning his own business. Just because it feels comfortable doesn't mean it's right. And so you navigated that, and now you're enjoying the fruits of labor. You have a pretty good sized team now that you built up here too, right?
yeah, so we've got 5 agents on our team. I still have my office in SoCal, the Temecula area. So I've got one, my brother works down there. We have 2 staff members down there. And then up here, we have a real estate office. I do lending. I have my appraisal office. And then we do investments nationwide as well. But yeah, one piece of advice, if I can offer to anyone who's afraid of, like a move or a shift in their career or life, is I think it all comes down to mindset. I think, what happens in your brain, we can either, accept it as fear or accept it as excitement. So I've always chose to get excitement. When something doesn't feel right, I use that as excitement instead of fear. I just run towards it, not from it.
I love that. Well, I know you're a good runner too. We ran the Whitefish half marathon together and you kicked my butt. So thanks for that.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to go back to Taylor. The topic was, we were talking about her coaching and giving her the ability to take this next step in her career. Taylor, I think you found some Wi-Fi, better service.
Yes, sounds better here.
Yep. And then we're
Okay.
going to go to Rachel after this, Savota.
Perfect. Yeah. So I started with Jim just under a year ago, and we were launching an online fitness career for me. And, you know, as Jim has talked about in each one of our calls, everything starts with your values. And that has been just the heart of everything I've been doing now for the last 8 months, whether it's, you know, new collaboration opportunities or even this new career opportunity that I have. Every decision has been made with value at the heart of it. Even a speaking opportunity that Jim invited me to this spring. So I would say if you've ever questioned getting coaching with anyone in the Young Entrepreneurs Syndicate, go for it, make the investment in yourself, because it will challenge you to not only push your comfort zones as a business owner, but it will help you solidify your values that you have. And every decision you make will be at the root of those values and will only help propel you forward. You know, I am faith, family, and fitness are my first three. And then my favorite one is freedom. And, you know, Jim and I dug pretty deep on what that freedom looks like. You know, it used to be, well, I'm an American. I love freedom. I love being a dream chaser, but it's the freedom to, you know, go have lunch with my husband or take my dog for a walk in the middle of the day, or needing that mental break to go get a workout in. And for those of you that don't know me, I am now 7 months pregnant. So part of that freedom is, okay, yeah, I'm really tired today and my brain is not functioning. So let me just work for 2 hours instead of a full 6-hour day. In a couple of months, it'll be the freedom to take some quiet time and enjoy the new life that we're bringing into the world. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough about the opportunities that have come my way because of the values that Jim and I laid out, and using those as the roadmap of professional growth.
Thanks, Taylor. And I think the point of all that is that for me to have you speak is that you were a good student and you had some discipline behind your goals, your vision and values. So great job at that. Hey, look, we're right out of time. Please spread the word. If you want to be on these calls, invite anybody that you think will find some value here. This is about community. And I think the theme for today is showing people that have taken a step out of their comfort zone, started their own businesses, even if it's a candy shop from truck driving. Love it, Brian. Thanks for being here. Brian O'Reilly moving out of town. Billy trying to figure out how to get to the United States. We're here for one another. This is Build Your Community. See you on school if you want to be there. Hit us up. Thanks, everybody.